Hello guys, welcome to today's class. Today I'll be showing you what a local server is and how to set up a local server on your system. Okay, so to build any website you need to have it hosted somewhere. Okay, you need to have your website hosted on a server, and there are several types of server. And for a beginner, the reason why I'll be taking you, or the reason why I will be letting you build on a local server is because of internet usage. For someone like me who has been building websites for a long time, I don't really need a local server that much. I have access to data. In fact, I live with data, I breathe data, I use data all the time. So that is internet connection. So I really don't have time for local server and all of that. But for someone who's just starting up and doesn't have all the expense to start using up data to build website, you are learning, so you surely won't, it will be a lot of financial commitments to start getting data all the time. So that's why we use a local server. Okay, so what a local server does is it allows you to be able to create websites on your system without internet connection. Okay, so you'll be able to create websites on your system without an internet connection. That's just the simple use of a local server, the simplest use of a local server. So even if you don't have internet, you are building websites and you view them live on your system. The only thing is that no one else will be able to view those websites except you, because it's on your system. If it's on a live server now, a live web hosting, yeah, sure, everyone else can visit that website. So that is what a local server does. So let me just type it out. A local server gives you the ability to create web applications without, let me just capitalize that, without an internet connection. Okay, so that's just what a local server does. And there are several types of local servers, that is softwares. And a local server is basically made up of some components. Okay, a local server on the ground level is made up of some components. A local server is made up of PHP. I think we discussed PHP in one of our classes the other time, and I told you it's the back-end logic for any website running on dynamic websites that does one or two special functions. So a local server is made up with PHP. So for you to run dynamic applications locally on your system, there is a way to install PHP on your system through a local server. Apache, so I won't be going into the details of what Apache is and all of that, it's a bit complicated right now. So I'm just going to show you what it is. Then SQL. Okay, so Apache, MySQL, not SQL, MySQL, and then PHP. Okay, so what these guys do, PHP handles, is the backend language logic, handles all the logic and all of that. Apache is more like the server itself. Apache is more like the server itself. It handles the requests to and fro. That's what it does. It's like the carrier of all the commands. Every command you send to deliver a website, to make it show, to make it perform one or two things, Apache is the one that actually makes it happen. Okay, so it's like the main cornerstone. MySQL is a database query language. What it does is it stores data. Okay, it stores data in a query from a form of table. So your website, if it's a dynamic website, it calls data more often. Okay, so you might be on a website and you are requesting for maybe your result. For example, let's say you're on WAEC website and you are requesting for your result. Okay, when you enter in your examination number and all of that, you observe that it gives you back data, which is your result. How does it give you that data? When you query in your exam number, so it searches for your information with your exam number. So that is just a typical example of what MySQL does. Okay, it searches for your information with that number and brings out your info from a particular table. So that table is SQL. That's just the simplest way I can put it. Okay, so that's just what SQL is. It's a database, a full database that contains information about your website, one or two things, maybe name of someone, in fact almost anything. You can store almost anything in MySQL. So that is just the way it works, and this is just what a simple local server is made of. Okay, now to set up a local server on your system, you have to install these three guys on your system. Now you will ask me, how are you going to install these three guys and how would they work together, okay, to actually create a local server on your system? If you have to install these guys one after the other, man, it's very tough. It's going to take you time, because you have to install PHP first, then you move to Apache, then you move to MySQL. One-on-one process. You need some little coding. So that is what it takes to actually install a local server on your system. But we have some softwares that actually make it very easy to install this local server on your system. With just one installation, you are good to go with a local server on your system, and you start building websites instantly. Okay, so some example of local server softwares that we install on our system. So I'll type it out. Some examples of local servers that are available for download, to download on your system and start using on the go. There is WAMP server, there is SAM server. These are the two major servers. Actually there are many others, but the one that people reckon with the most and find easy to use, WAMP server, SAM server. There is also LAMP server. Okay, there's LAMP server, but if you are using a Linux operating system, this will serve you well. Okay, I'm very sure you're not a Linux user. If you're a Linux user, then you know what LAMP server is the choice for you. But if you're a Windows user, WAMP server or SAM server is the go for you. And if you use Mac, that is Apple, there is MAMP server. So that's for Apple. Okay, but for this tutorial, I'm very sure you are using a Windows, so I'm just going to train you on the Windows aspect. Alright, so the one I use most is a SAM server. Okay, so this is the one I use most, the one I'm very familiar with, and the one I will also recommend for you to use. It's very easy to use, it's very easy to install. One go, you already have a local server set up on your system. So what we need to do now for you to start creating websites is, the first thing you need to do is you need to set up this server on your system. Okay, so it's very, very important to set up this server on your system. So in our next tutorial, I'll be taking you through on how to install SAM server and get it up and running on your system. Okay, so that's all for now. Thank you guys, bye.